Hello everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Science Snippets. My name is Agranil Paul. I'm a researcher and a storyteller. I love stories. When I was a kid, my parents could never enjoy a new movie. I would always watch it first, come back home and spoil the whole story for them. So what is a story? According to the Cambridge English Dictionary, a story is a description of a series of real or imaginary events which is intended to entertain people. But there is more. The shortest story ever written was only 6 words long, penned by Ernest Hemingway, over a $10 bet. It reads, For sales, baby shoes, never worn. See, a story is to inform, but it also should evoke an emotion. And science is filled with such stories written in data and discoveries. Imagine your first lesson in high school physics class, or even the successful or maybe the failed experiment from last week. Every story in science makes you feel something, be it joy, anguish, or even curiosity. For today's story, we go back to 1870 Warsaw, Poland, where we meet Maria Skłodowska, a curious kid who loved to look at the starry sky and ask, why are those lights blinking there? At a very young age, Maria fell in love with science. Her curiosity became her passion. But even a field as progressive as science was not always equally fair to different genders. 18th century Poland did not allow young women to pursue higher academic career. With her little savings, Maria moved to Paris. While she quenched her hunger of knowledge, she was only surviving on bread and tea. But things changed in 1895 when Maria met another brilliant physicist, Pierre Curie. They got married, and from that point onwards, she was known as Madame Curie or Marie Curie. In 1896, while attending a lecture by Henri Becquerel at the School of Chemistry and Physics in Paris, Marie Curie learned about the ability of uranium crystals to blacken photographic plate. And this, after the recent discovery of X-ray, sparked her curiosity. The Curie couple started investigating such minerals and soon discovered that these minerals emit a powerful ray. Madame Curie later named this phenomenon as radioactivity. In 1898, she discovered two new radioactive elements, polonium, which named after her own country Poland, and radium. In 1903, she became the first ever woman to win a Nobel Prize. She shared this Nobel Prize in physics with Henri Becquerel and her husband Pierre Curie. After Pierre Curie's sudden demise in 1905, she continued her research. In 1911, she became the first ever person to win two Nobel Prizes in two different fields. She won a Nobel Prize in chemistry. Mary died at an age of 66, which people suspect to be caused by her regular exposure to radiation. Even after almost 90 years of her demise, her work lived through us. Every radiation therapy and nuclear power plant owe a doff of their hat to Marie Curie. What an inspiring story. If you're a high school kid and thinking, wow, such a cool story, I would also like to discover stuff someday. I would also like to learn science. Yes, then the story is for you. It's for those researchers thinking, if an empty stomach could not ruin Maria's pursuit to knowledge, then the negative band in last week's blot surely not gonna ruin mine. And it's for all those storytellers who's gently stroking their chin and thinking, hey, I too have a story of science to share. Go ahead. So, that's it for today's episode, guys. For more such stories, subscribe to this channel and please comment on the stories of science that you'd like me to cover.